This Tim 2013 turbo Doge Dart. Doing the valve cover gaskets because they all leak out of the spark plug gromlets right here. Get those out. Just take you a little screwdriver or chisel, whatever, knock them out through there, and of course replace the gasket. Main thing is you got to take off your injector bracket, your PCV brackets, and of course take all the belts off, and you'll have one on the timing cover on the side there that you'll have to take off. It's a 10mm. Take all your bolts around, take your little cover off your exhaust, pull your coil packs out, spray it up real clean like I did, and but the gromlets that go right here, they leak. They mainly leak. I mean, the sides of them leak too, but mainly it's the these right here. And these are expensive, believe it or not. $100 for 4 of these at the dealer. Crazy. But anyway, they leak, and they allow oil to get down there, and they get on these on the bottom, and they make them real saturated. Well, they're mushy, and then they start getting cracks in them and everything else, and then you start having a misfire like this one did. So make sure you get it to the dealer, the gasket and the gromlets and everything. I couldn't even find it at a regular parts store anyway, so I had to get it at a dealer. So let me start putting this together, and be right back. I didn't really get a lot of that. What I was doing, I had some other things come up, so I went ahead and basically get your bolts around here. Make sure you get everything on, your brackets that you took off, your hoses, all that good stuff, and your exhaust. Remember, you got one bolt in the timing cover. Don't forget about this one you got down in here. This is on the turbo models. On the other models, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle. On the turbo, you got this one down here in the middle, just one on the side here, this 8mm. And make sure you get them all nice and tight. And I'm gonna put these coils in. Alright, so it runs great now. Hopefully there won't be no more oil leaks. Check engines. Saying also that our miles per hour are off, so I'm going to try to diagnose that and see if it needs a cluster, a speed sensor, or if I can reset this one. Be right back. Well, I tried to set the screen to default and reset, do the settings right. You just kind of go over here to the your steering wheel, hit your setups. And you got restore, you got speedometer. You go over here, you got analog, which is shows the numbers. Digital, of course, is digital. But I tried all that and it still is off, so probably gonna tell her to get another cluster. But stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, today we'll be working on the outlook. They say it's a GM, they say it's a Saturn, they say it's a Mitsubishi. I'm not sure it knows what it is. But I will be doing the axle on it. So I will show you in just a second. Okay, you're going to want to take this axle nut off. It is a 34. You're going to take the axle nut off. You're going to take your caliper bolts off, which are 15/16. Take your strut bolts out. Take your caliper bolts out. They are 3/4. And I'll move it to the side, strap it up however you want to. Of course, move the speed sensor, wheel sensor. But it's a 10mm. I'm going to take it out. And then I'm going to pry this strut and then pull this joint out. Okay, I about got it wrapped up. One thing I failed to mention is that you have 3 bolts on the inside of here. 1, 2, and 1 down here on the bottom. So you got 3 total, which are 15mm. You've got to loosen those up and take them out to pull that axle out. So I forgot to mention that. Make sure you do that. Make sure you tighten up, do your struts. Take your caliper off. Of course, take your axle nut. Take your rotor off. And that's about it. Not too bad of a job. It's just them bolts. You got to make sure you got it in neutral so you can turn the axle, because you'll have to turn it. Because the original one have these things. The remanufactured one doesn't, but these got these grooves in it, and that's how you get to the bolt. So you got to jack the other side up, put it in neutral, and make sure you can spin the axle so you can get access to those bolts. But I'm about to wrap this up. We'll finish here in just a minute. Well, it's Tim again. Well, we got the passenger side done. It was shot. Now we're going to do the driver's side. It's making racket too. So I'm going to start taking this off, and then I'll show you what this entails. Pretty much the same thing as the other side, but I don't believe you got the 3 bolts inside. But I'll check and make sure. Alright, this side's a little bit easier. Take off your caliper and just pry out your old axle. I got the old one right there. And of course, take out your wheel sensor so you don't pull on it, but just push the other one in, pull it back. Like I said, just undo the 2 bolts in the strut, let it go down. You ain't got to mess with the ball joint, you can mess with the tie rod, none of that stuff. You got to do none of that. And this one don't have the bolts around it, so it just got splines in it, so it just pushes in and out. So, and then I'm gonna get this back in here. Oh, I'll do it. I get a little jack underneath it, and give it a little love tap. Axle with you. That's pretty much it. Now put your caliper bolts back on, and I got the axle in. So that's pretty much it for now. Alright, well that's it. Pretty simple. Both CV axles done. I think it might have a motor mount problem too, not sure. Got rid of the clacking. It's got that electronic power steering that likes to make racket and stick sometimes. Might have to look into that. But anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks.